Hello again, and welcome back to my channel, My Wealth Journey. I'm Yvette. I don't know if I've introduced myself yet in any of these videos, so I'm going to do that right now. Yvette, and I'm going to be vlogging today. So Mondays is going to be talking specifically about what I'm doing with my money, what I've done with my money to get to where I'm at, and what I'm working on currently. And I want to take my second posting of the week, which is going to be Wednesdays, is going to be more on like the kind of mindset things and more kind of background stuff that's not exactly like moving money related, but just like some of the things that happened to me on my journey and how my mindset shifted and just that kind of thing. So it's been a really interesting process, my growth throughout the years, starting from like not knowing anything about finances at all, to where I've gotten now. It's been like a very like just kind of like a gradual process. And so I want to take this first video on mindset day to talk about the mindset shifts that I had to go to even begin to get anywhere near the wealth that I have thus far accumulated, which is like not. Interestingly enough, I said in my last few videos I'm not wealthy yet, but as I thought about it, I was like, actually I am wealthy already. But because it depends on which standard you're going by. So a lot of things we don't realize, especially if you live here in the United States of America, most of us are actually quite wealthy when just compared to the rest of the world. So a big mindset shift for me has been realizing that I am actually already wealthy now. Even honestly, even in American terms, I'm not wealthy like the 1% wealthy, but but I've gotten to the point. I mean, even just like being out of debt puts you in. I'm gonna have to look up the numbers for these things, like the percentages, the statistics. But even just being debt free puts you in like the top half of Americans. I am positive. If anybody wants to do that homework, no, I'm gonna do that homework and figure it out. So being debt free, having investments, puts me in another that like takes up another however many percent. Having a retirement account and investments at the same time, like having a positive net worth. Y'all know what? This is going to be the real thing on my money journey. I just realized I have a net worth this year. This year, probably before I started this channel, maybe like it was actually probably a few weeks before I started this channel. I was like, oh, I have a net worth. Because my mind didn't even think in those terms of like having a net worth, which is what the wealthy people are talked about in terms of their net worth. And you kind of, until you're in that world, you don't really think about it. Like none of my friends really talk about net worth. When I see like financial videos from a lot of like the gurus or like the kind of money education people, they don't talk about like the difference between like when do you start taking your net worth into account. At some point there is a realization every wealthy person makes on their journey, because most wealthy people are actually self-made. Debunk that myth right now. Most wealthy people did not inherit it. So at some point they became someone who was aware of their net worth, but before that they were not someone who was aware, or they were like just negative. So that's a big transition right there. For me, it's been a big transition realizing that I had a net worth. And what happened for me where I realized, oh wait, the reason that I don't think I'm wealthy is because my mind has expanded with my financial capacity. So you get used to whatever stage you're at, you just get used to it and you think it's normal. And it's like not freaking normal. Like living in America, we have plumbing, we have electricity, we have all doodads. We're very like high consumerist society, And we kind of take a lot of things for granted because we've lived like this for so long, unless you grew up like in a very poor, impoverished area. But you still, like, you strive to get to that point, and when you get to that point, it's like you're striving. A lot of times I feel like when you start from without having that, then you're just striving to catch up to what is like most people's normals, like most of society's normal standards, just having like, food and shelter and water, electricity, and all those things. We like, once you get to that, then it's like, okay, now we're starting normal. But there's several places, like countries in the world, where that's not the normal standard of living. It's to have like a cushy apartment or house, plumbing and electricity and running water. That's like, no, we like go down to the river and pull water out the river. We live in like thatched roof, like no electricity. Like, there's a lot of Americans that we go to vacation or like go like camping and do stuff like for fun. That this is how people actually freaking live. So I want to first go over the mindset shift of like redefining how you see wealth in your mind, because you do actually kind of need to like already view yourself as wealthy to start, and give gratitude for the wealth that you already have. Like, you're already in a place of privilege to start off with. And then from there, it's like so much easier to build when you recognize the inherent wealth that you already have in yourself and the things that you already like have access to, like having access to internet connection regularly whenever you want, being able to like pay for subscriptions to internet service or YouTube Premium, whatever the heck you got going on. I love subscriptions. I'm a subscription whore. I'm not going to use that word. I'm a subscription queen. And I have subscriptions to everything because they save me money when I use them. So just make sure you're using all your subscriptions. If not, delete them immediately. But yeah, so the wealth mindset thing is for me, it was when I checked I started my investment accounts, which was step number 2 and last video. Actually, starting your investment account was step number 1, excuse me. But I started my investment accounts again. So I had the first kind of BS Dominion investment, but then I started my real investment much later on as an adult with like $100. I started my first actual investment account where I was investing in things that I had learned about. So I learned about like the S&P 500, which is just like the top 500 countries. The top 500 companies. Like, so he's like automatically done for you. It's a index fund. So you don't even have to worry about like picking stocks or anything. You just invest in the general broad market, top performing countries as a whole. So I invested in that, and then I did pick some stocks just based off stuff that I believed in, stuff that I use. Like Netflix was a good one. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into all my like specific stocks, but it was just like it's pretty basic, like companies that we know are doing well and that I use. I believe in investing in things that I use, so I would say that's my main strategy. If it's something that I use, I probably own stocks in it. So yes, own what you use is a great rule of thumb. Unless you're using some weird, obscure something, then maybe do more homework on that. But overall, I say own what you use. So I started those back in 2018. So it's been like 6 years now. It's 2024. Yeah, it's been like 6 years that I started those. And yeah, they were nothing special. I started with $100. And then it was like $100 a month. I just had it auto set up on $100 a month. When I got more money at work, because my job is a self-employed trainer, so when I like had more clients, I would invest more money. When I would give myself raises, I would invest more money. And I kept it only overall like $100 a month. So it was like growing pretty good. It was doing way better than the Dominion account because I knew better. So I was getting at least like the market return and then plus for the things that I invested in extra. And yeah, it was literally because I went to a financial literacy class and I had the opportunity to buy the class, which I did, and then I had an opportunity to like join their community, which was much more expensive, and like I was like, oh damn, I don't know if I can afford that. They wanted a lot of money. Okay, they wanted like 15 grand. They wanted 15 grand, and I was like, 15 grand for like, what am I getting out of this again? Okay, but it was actually worth it because I do want to be wealthy, which is why we're all here, hopefully, on this channel to be wealthy. So I was like, okay, I see the value that y'all are offering, so I'm going to figure out a way to make this work, and let me go see what my investments are doing. Because like I said, if you automate your investments, you will forget that they exist and like kind of stop paying attention to them, as you should. It's a long game. It's not a short game. Day trading, I don't believe in none of that ish. I don't believe in that. If you do, God bless you. But that has not been shown to do well for most people, so I will stay away from that. So yeah, I just happened to go into but I wanted to go into my accounts to see if I could pull some money, if I had some extra money in my investment accounts to pay for this $15,000 thing that I wanted to buy. And to my surprise, lo and behold, my investment accounts had doubled in the past year. So they were like 13 or 14 grand. Like the last time I had looked at them, they were both around like 13 or so. I have like two different accounts. I have one for like my regular stocks and S&P 500 and stuff, and then I have another one for my crypto. Because yes, I do believe in crypto as well, but I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket, so I diversify. And you only put in what you're willing to lose. So my auto investment for crypto was also $100. I eventually increased my regular stocks to like $200, but I left that one at like $100. And I would put in like bigger chunks as well as made sense to me. So yeah, but both of them had doubled. The crypto actually went up even more, of course, because I don't know if any of you are paying attention to crypto. It's doing pretty well right now. I think it's like projected. I think it's like it's 60,000. It's projected to go up to like 100,000. So since I bought it back in like 2018, it's definitely gone up. It's volatile, which is why it's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. It's for people that are like me, that are like, okay, let me give it a shot. It seems to make sense right now. But also, I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. Or for people that are long-term holders. So I notice the other people that lose money in crypto are the people that get out when it drops real bad. And you lost money because you got out because it dropped real bad. Because I'm like, the drop, even when it drops real bad, it still goes up again. So out of 14 years that it's been going, it's only dropped like, it's only had a bad or like no return like one of the years. So every other year it's been going up except for that 1 year. So if you look at it overall, to me it's a worthwhile investment because I'm a buy and hold type of investor. So the mindset shift happened was when I saw, my money just doubled in like a year. It's like, it was like the first 5 years was like pretty, I don't know if it was steady because obviously I wasn't checking it very often, but I guess it was like, it wasn't surprising to me whenever I checked my accounts until this year. I checked it and it surprised me how much it had grown because it had not grown that much in any of the other years. I don't know if this year is just a good year when I happened to check it or what. But I was like, damn, I just reached my investing goal. And I had my first investing goal was to have $50,000 invested, which I did realize I had reached that last year, that I reached my $50,000 invested just in total. But yeah. Between that and then I also, because I watched too much financial stuff, I also had opened I had opened my Roth. I had a Vanguard Roth account, and then I heard that Fidelity was really good banking or whatever the freak Fidelity is. So I opened Fidelity too. I had like 7 accounts. I have too many accounts. Don't do what I did, but this is why I'm making this journal, so people can not do the mistakes that I made. But if you do those mistakes, it's not going to be a big deal. It's like, honestly, yeah, it's like it wasn't anything that like hurt me. It's just like unnecessary. I have unnecessary. My money is like split unnecessarily spread out among too many different things. And if I consolidated it, I would get more, I could work with it a little bit more. But between all my accounts, I finally added it up. And I was like, oh, I have a net worth of over 100,000, and I did not know that. I had made it to 100K in net worth based on my investment, retirement, portfolio, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, I can actually do this. Like, it's like something shifted in my brain. Like, I knew kind of subconsciously because I had been on this mindset journey as well. But something clicked into place. I was like, oh, I can afford this. I can afford, like, this 15 grand is actually not that big of a deal as I was making it in my head. Like, I'm thinking like how I used to think, like, oh, that's so much money, because I didn't have it. I didn't have anywhere near 15,000. That's why I had all that freaking debt that I needed to pay. I probably had that much. That was probably how much debt I had, which is also very small. So I was fortunate my debt was like not more than maybe like 15 grand. But yeah, like having the realization sink in that 15 grand went from, at one point, that was like a crazy insurmountable debt that took me years to pay off. Like, it took like, God, how long did it take? It took me at least 10 years to pay off like 15 grand back when I was, of course I was transitioning from being a college student to like, trying to figure out my career, and I was in that life limbo in the 20s. But going through that, and then going to the point where I am now, where I have my own place, and I have no debt, and I literally can just do what I want to with my money, and I have enough to be able to buy something that's 15 grand and not be in debt and still be debt free. And pay the 15 grand. I was like, Yvette, you haven't made it, but I mean, you've made it. Like you made, like, breaking that threshold, like realizing you have so much more money than you thought you had. Dude, I'm telling you, that's why, like, please just believe. It's like a slow process. Like I say, you have to like see it for yourself and experience it and feel it for yourself. But it's not as hard as people think it is. It's actually really simple and kind of, I wouldn't say boring, but it's just like regular. Like, I just started those accounts. I didn't think ahead to like how much money would be in them. I was just like, let me start these accounts, fund it with something like an auto pay consistently. And then like I contributed more to it as I could. That was it. That was all I freaking did. My job is it's very fulfilling, and I love it. I love being a trainer, but I do not make a lot of money as a trainer. I mean, I make a reasonable amount of money, but most of it was just I lived below my means, and I lived with a roommate as long as I possibly could take advantage of like low rent. I took advantage of low rent, and then I only got my own place when I like really needed to get my own place because my roommate was like a crazy asshole. So yeah, that is the other key. So like living in your wealth now, realizing that you're wealthy now. Like, if you need to go look at other countries, if you need to like go look at poor people, whatever, to like recognize what you have, the wealth you already have, for me, like, that makes a huge difference. And then just realizing that like the statistics in the United States on wealth are freaking terrible. Like, over half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So even when I just got out of living paycheck to, it was actually rare that I lived paycheck to paycheck. I normally had been pretty good about saving, but like, I think back when I first moved out of my mom's house, I was living paycheck to paycheck for maybe like the first year or two. And then I like to kind of hoard money. Not hoard, but I like to be frugal because I don't like that feeling of being paycheck to paycheck. It stresses me out. So I've always kind of had the mindset of like, I need to live below my means so I don't have to worry about, getting evicted, which I still got evicted, but I don't have to think about it. It's not my fault. It's not because I didn't pay. And I never wanted to be in such a state of like insecurity living situation because this is such an icky feeling. So it's like I avoided it as much as possible. But like knowing that most Americans actually live like that and like on a regular basis, on a consistent basis for a long period of time, cannot retire, cannot travel, cannot really do a lot of fun things without it like putting them at risk, or like if they lost their job or something happened like COVID. Like, dude, I lost all my clients. I lost all my clients except for like 3. That was 2 3. I lost all my freaking clients, but because I had an emergency fund saved up because I was living below my means, it did not like COVID did not affect me. It honestly, it gave me time to like just take more classes. I got like 5 more certifications for my job, and was doing all kinds of just like kind of building what do you call it, hobbies, working out, going on hikes. I was like enjoying my time. I wasn't stressed out. So even when something crazy happens, recession and the apocalypse, whatever. I mean, the apocalypse probably will all be screwed, but COVID, pandemics, if you have the financial stability to support yourself long term and not just like month to month, you will feel so much better and you will grow wealth so much better. So get your mindset right. Sorry, this one was like all over the place. I'll figure out a structure for these mindset videos in the upcoming future. But in the meantime, like and subscribe, ask any questions, any comments, advice, whatever. Make that money. You are already wealthy. Peace.